What is it like living with 4 different Amazons? Hey guys, I'm Kaylin. It's like being interrupted. I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond and the new book, Get to Know African Cape and African Gray Parrots, both available on Amazon. Today, we're hanging out with Ursulus, my Mexican redhead or green-cheeked or red-crowned Amazon. Virgilius, probably Amazonia. Oh my goodness, the Latin is like a foreign language to me. If you know already that I have over 20 species of parrots and that I love my parrots, even the ones that are sneezing on me, interrupting me, trying to nip at me, then you're used to hanging out. Hopefully you already subscribed, hit the bell so that you could choose how often you hear from my flock and I. Let's get started. So I have 4 species of Amazons. I introduced you to Ursulus. Over there, maybe he'll fly over, is Henry. Henry is a mealy Amazon. And if not, I'll try to move the camera in a minute. Mealy Amazons are the largest Amazons. What you doing? I'm allowed to move my hand. I'm allowed to move without you biting me. Yeah, without you nipping down. I also have an orange-winged Amazon that does not belong to me. It belongs to my golden conure. My Tico, our orange-winged Amazon, he's sweet with us, he's friendly with us, he whistles with us, he sings with us. He'll let me pick him up and stuff. Sometimes he'll let me pet him, not usually. But clearly, he's not our Amazon. He belongs to our golden conure, so sometimes we get the privilege of his company. And then my 4th Amazon is Lorenza, my yellow-naped Amazon, who is my Amazon. Because Ursulus really belongs with Henry now, because they're buds. Living with Amazons, what's that like? Well, some days it is exceedingly loud. What are you haying me for? Look, can I get this little floof? Floof! Some days it's not as loud. Some days Henry sings opera. And every time we try to record it, it doesn't work. He mostly sings opera when we're playing music. So then you can't really, like it's hard to hear. Relax. Take a chill pill, man. Relax, love. Hi, Ursulus. Ursulus, can I have a kiss? Good kiss, thank you. Having Amazons is like having an incredible bird that just picks up language. Okay, what's going on? Are you done? Are you done? What's going on? Are you mad? Are you mad at me? Yeah. I know, because last time Ursulus was out, he hurt one of my other parrots, so he's in a little bit of the dog house, or the bird house, if you will. One thing about living with Amazons is they can, they can be aggressive, and what they really can be is one mate parrots. So they have one mate, one human or one other bird, and then everyone else might be under attack, and they can be pretty jealous and possessive. That's a little hard. That means that living with Amazons can be really difficult because, hey, be nice. Be nice. Because if your Amazon likes you, and for example, you have a friend come over and your Amazon feels threatened by your friend, well, your friend might get the beaky end of that interaction. Hires. But they're incredible because they just pick up language, especially if you have them from a young age. I'm a little surprised. I think my Lorenza is my yellow nape. We adopted her as an adult, and she is probably most likely a senior parrot. That's a long story. I won't get sidetracked. But she doesn't really pick up new words. Ursula's picks up new words. Hi, sweetheart. He can pick up tricks. Henry spends time with Ursula's. You really have to spend time with your Amazons for them to pick up the language. Mwah! And I like doing that. I like grabbing them by the beak so I know I'm safe, and then kissing them, torturing them with my love. Wah, ha, 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 ha. Right? Living with Amazons is a really, I think it's a great thing. I think it's easier to do when they have an outdoor aviary, and if they're screaming, and I'll try to get some video of them screaming, which they squawk, you know, parrots are not beautiful sound birds. They're not melodious. They're squawkodious, and right? And unless they're talking, that part is hard to live with. They're also a little tricky to live with because you can give them their fresh veggies. You should give them their fresh veggies. You should give them pellets. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Now your hair's sticking up. Well, your feathers. Can they see your feathers sticking up? Look at that. You made it stick up. I would fix it, but you won't let me. Can I fix your feathers? Can I fix your feathers? Can I give you a pet? No, not right now. What was I just saying? No, don't eat my button, please. No, 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 no. Mwah. What were we saying? Huh, sweetheart? Oh, food. But with Amazons, they are prone to being overweight. Look, I think you lost something. Did you lose something? Is that yours? Yeah? There you go. You want that back? Oh, I guess you didn't really want it. Let's keep it from going in the pool. They're prone to being overweight, which means that they're not going to be a seed or nut eater. They, frankly, seeds make them fat. It makes them unhealthy. And, you know, I think, like, I asked my vet, my avian vet, and she's like, oh, you could probably do like a walnut every day. It's kind of like, oh my God, you have to give your bird something. So yeah, I guess it won't kill your bird if you give your bird a walnut, your Amazon. I like my vet, she's really awesome. But yeah, you know, like a walnut might even be good because walnuts have some properties, my vet said, that even help them get rid of some fat. But this is a bird that you just can't give a lot of treats to and stuff like that. Now, I sometimes I research and I watch other people's videos, and you know, because I love learning about parrots, I love upping my game whenever I can. And I always hear people saying that fruit is a part of a parrot's diet. You won't hear me say that. You will hear me say that in the wild. Hi. Hi, Henry. Henry, come over here. He landed on the floor. In the wild, you will see, if you go and observe wild parrots, that they don't go for the fresh, ripe fruit. They will reach further or go further for unripe fruit. They are not evolved to really digest that fructose. Frankly, in large amounts, either are weak. And that's why a lot of nutritionists will say that, like, you know, if you're gonna have some fruit used to be a dessert. Like, if you're gonna have some fruit, a little bit's fine. Fruit juice isn't as good because it's concentrated fructose, and fruit all the time is a little hard on your system because it spikes your insulin, and so I assume it has to do the same. Hi, Henry. Hi. I am so happy to see you. Thank you for coming. Hi. Hi, I'm gonna let you relax a little. Hello, Henry. Henry, you are so handsome. Hi, Henry. Henry does talk a little. Yeah, oh, thank you for showing them that you talk. Now, those were not exactly English words, echoes. Hi, Henry. He does talk, and he talks the way the rest of my parrots do when they want. Hi, Henry. I'm so happy to see you. Yeah. Are you enjoying some outside time? Huh? Are you enjoying being outside with Ursula? Ursula, that wasn't nice. That wasn't nice. This is not how loud Amazons are. What's up? I'm trying to... Yes. Yes, you don't say. I'm trying to tell them that I have to be careful with your diet. And that... Thank you for being nice now. And that... I'm trying to tell them that with your diet, I'm going to try to introduce a very low-fat seed, pinch seeds. And that way they can have a little variety, a little something fun. They're little seeds. Somebody gave me a little more of a beating. This is what I mean. They actually have done a really good job of showing you what it's like with the Amazon. Oop. Oh boy. Henry's nails are now stuck in the table, so I'm going to have to help him out. Are you okay? Oh, you got out okay. Hi, Henry. Hi. This is what it's like living with Amazons. They are very possessive, like I said. That's the hard thing. And if you only have one Amazon, one of the things that happens is they get lonely, they get bored, and they're missing that social aspect. They're missing their flock. And their flock has to be like at least one bonded mate. And if you're their bonded mate and you're gone to work, then they pluck, they scream even more, and they become very difficult to live with, which is why they get rehomed quite a bit. You can imagine their beaks are pretty strong. Ursulus loves me. So most of the time he was what I call beaking, which means just like putting his beak on my fingers, not really applying pressure. But that last one, when I sent him flying, that was getting into biting territory. It hurt a little. It did not pierce my skin. But basically, he and Henry are like, I don't know, having jealousy bites. Maybe they're like, she's my human. And the truth is, Henry's not trying to claim me. Henry is just trying to hang out with Ursulus, but they don't communicate well. So they don't know, and they just react from a jealous and possessive place. Nevertheless, I do think that they are phenomenal and awesome. Lorenza is just, she's like my number one bird out of my over 20 species, as far as, I just kind of feel like out of all of them, she's like my best friend. She cuddles with me. She's very loyal with me in the sense that she, I can go to her anytime and ask for a beak kiss and pick her up in the dark, in the light. I can ask to pet her. So, you know, I can go to her when I want cuddling, which is really nice. And so I really like that about her. The Ursulus, you know, these guys, they are also really, really awesome parrots, but they're hard to handle. And so I really like their personalities. They have really fun personalities. Right now they're out together. If I just brought Ursulus out, it would have been a little easier. And you saw at the beginning when I just had Ursulus out, he was being softer. And the minute Henry came over, Ursulus got a little more jaggedy in his bites and in his behavior and stuff. But so, you know, I would say they're not a beginner's parrot, in the sense that if you aren't familiar with parrots and you aren't familiar with their exigent needs, and you aren't familiar with their personalities and the fact that they are who they are, and Amazons, for example, are just jealous and possessive, it's not something that can be corrected with training. You might be able to distract a little bit of it with training, divert a little of their attention with training, but this is like who they authentically, genuinely are. And so there are parrots like budgies. You can have like 50 budgies. They're not going to get jealous. They're not going to bite you. You can have cockatiels. They're not going to get jealous. They're not going to bite you. They're not going to attack you. So there are parrots that I feel like are so much better for teaching you how to be with a parrot and what a parrot is like. So that then if you are then with, or if you then adopt a parrot like an Amazon, you're kind of ready for some of that beak. And that's kind of what it's like, right? Sometimes it's like the beak coming at you kind of thing. But I'm sure that not Amazons aren't for everyone. One thing that's incredible about parrots is with so many different species, it's kind of like, in a way, there's the right parrot for you that resonates with your lifestyle, that resonates with you, your personality. And when you do your research and you find the right parrot for you, I think that makes a really big difference. I don't think Amazons are for everyone. If you're in a small apartment, I can't think of, well, I can think of one or two worse species to have in an apartment with you, but it's a tough competition. If you're in a small apartment or a small house, I think it'd be too hard. Out here, we're in an enclosed lanai that's screening, heavy duty screening, and that works. You know, they can be out here, they can get some fresh air, they can fly around if they want. You saw me throw Ursulus up in the air, and they're fine, they're safe, and so they can get exercise and they can get fresh air. But I don't let them out when they're screaming. If they're screaming, well, I don't bring them out when they're screaming anyway, but I don't have screaming parrots outside. But it's definitely something like, these are things you really want to take into account. Amazons are one of the 3 most homed parrots, and I think you could see why. It's not just the noise level. I think some of it is also their demeanor, their attitude. When you get Amazons and you have 2 and you see them together, if you're really looking at them for the birds that they are, one of the things that you see is that they do pair off. They do start to maybe not exclude you, but you saw how they behaved with me. They either get jealous or get defensive. And I mean, their treatment of you goes from more loving and affectionate to more like you're an outsider. And you start to really appreciate the fact that you are an outsider because you're human. You're not a parrot like them. And you can't be with them 24 hours a day the way they like to be with each other. A lot of times when I look at these 2 guys and they're in their cage, they're preening each other. Sometimes they're not sitting together. Sometimes they're not right next to each other. But they're just so bonded. There's probably like an energetic lasso binding the 2 of them. And when you see that, you're just like, you know what? That's magical. That's wonderful. There's nothing that would make me happier with my Amazons than to see them happy. And so, like, I don't really want to interrupt that. And I can bring them out and I can pick them up, but I don't like to push it. I like for them to be happy, and I feel like my Amazons are happy. My little see, it wasn't a bad nick. You can't even see it. I can feel it. I could see just the smallest little red, like pink little line, but it's no big deal. So that is what it's like to live with Amazons. And guys, one of the things I like to say is, people say that parrots live forever. They're like, they live 50 years, they live 100 years. And you know, humans also live 100 years, but not all of them, and not on average. And the same is true with parrots. Some will live to be 100 years. Most of them won't. Amazons, however, they are hardy, which is amazing with the seed-based diet. I don't understand how they survived when they were being given a poor diet. But if you are adopting an Amazon, you have an Amazon, and you're giving them a good diet, they are going to live longer. They are the kind of species that truly does live to 50, 60, 70, maybe more. And so I would say, if you're getting an Amazon, you know, be really conscientious. This is an intelligent being with its own heart and its own emotional intelligence, that kind of thing. And if it has to be rehomed, that's not easy on them. Or if it has to be put in a rescue, it's just, you know, it's not easy to be taken out of the one thing that is the heart of your being, which is your flock. And so if you're going to get an Amazon, try to consider that they really do live. Like, this really is a species that lives a long time. And so unless you're getting an older adult, if you're getting a young one, keep in mind that it really is a longer commitment. And I never say that because with so many other species, it just isn't true. You get a budgie, the budgie's not going to live 50 years. I don't think there's ever been any such record. I think budgies, like, you know, they're just ancient when they're like 15, 20. You know, if you guys know about a budgie that's lived to 25, let me know, kind of thing. But my point is, there's a lot of species that aren't going to live as long. This is a real commitment. This is, in some ways, a really incredibly deep bonded parrot with really incredibly sharp, jagged edges, if you will. Huge heart, and their beaks aren't that much bigger than anybody else's, although Henry's is. Henry's got a monster beak. But they just, you know, they're something special. Thanks for joining me in this blissful video. I will catch you next time.